You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Howdy, everyone, and welcome to our encore post-con episode of the 2024 DragonCon report. Yes, DragonCon 2024 is over, and we've already done a review of that. But there's still a lot more to talk about, and we need to start getting ready for 2025. So it seems like a long way, but it'll be here before we know it. Don't worry, we're here to help. I'm your host, Mike Gordon, and I'm pleased to introduce you to the rest of our station crew, starting, of course, with Jen. Howdy.
Technical issues already, man.
Yeah, all of a sudden I was like, hey, here I am.
Yeah, it didn't play the countdown. It didn't play our theme song. I was like, what is going on?
Goodness gracious. How are you?
I'm better than last month, so.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
the
Yes.
eyes
recovery
are on the
process
mend.
from DragonCon is a slow going process.
I still
right?
have not unpacked my costume, so.
Oh, okay. So there's still work to be done there.
Yeah, regular stuff is unpacked, costumes are not.
Well, let's bring on our other co-host. Channing, of course, is back as well.
Yes, and I just want everyone to know, despite the technical difficulties, this is fine. Everything's fine. We're all good. I do have to ask: am I the only weirdo that unpacks immediately after DragonCon? Because I've talked to so many people who said, "Oh, I haven't even unpacked yet."
I only unpacked because I had to take a trip at the beginning of October, and I needed luggage. But again, I use packing cubes, so the costumes, are all in individual vacuum bag things. So I can just carry them to the room I keep costumes in. I don't have to unpack.
All of the stuff on my table is still in my car. It's still in the trunk of my car.
Okay.
So the clothes and everything came in with me, and then I unpacked those within a day or so. Did laundry and all that, but everything that was associated with my table and everything, that's still in my car. So yeah, so I haven't. I seldom unpack that though. I mean, that's always on the go for that stuff anyway. So
gotcha. Okay. See, I'm not a weirdo.
Your car is messy.
What is that?
You're saying your car is messy.
I'm saying that if you want to put something large in the trunk, I'm going to need a minute. So very cool. Looks like we've got some people joining us already. Howdy, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Again, we are here to talk a little bit more reviewing of 2024, but also prep stuff for 2025 because it's never too early. Never too early. And this is the first time we've actually gone into October with the DragonCon report.
Yes, it is.
And largely it is because you guys really requested it. You guys demanded it. You guys shouted until we came back for the encore. So we feel like a band now.
Yes, you got to give the people what they want.
So some items of business just to get out of the way. First and foremost, we are an unofficial podcast of the con. We are not and never have been officially connected with DragonCon. For all official news, we strongly recommend checking out the official site and social media outlets. We are a proud member of the ESO Network. On esonetwork.com page, there's a direct link to our TeePublic store filled with all kinds of cool swag. There's a really cool design logo for the DragonCon Report podcast, and I saw a lot of shirts with that logo on it when I was at DragonCon this year. So that's always awesome to see. We also have a Patreon page where supporters can access our exclusive readings of our guest announcements during the normal running of this podcast. However, Jen, you're actually on a podcast on a show that is on there for patrons only every month too, right? The
yes, so Board Silly. Yes, that's right. So, I am on the board for the ESO Network.
Absolutely. So thank you, patrons, for all your support. We do appreciate you. And that goes without saying, like throughout the year, even when we're not on, we really appreciate the support we get from you guys. In addition to video streaming on Facebook or YouTube, the audio version of our show is still available via all the usual places. You can always access our past episodes at DragonConReport.com. And however you access our show, please like, subscribe, share. It doesn't cost you anything, and it just really helps us out a lot. You can leave us direct feedback or comment on the show. Email us at feedback@DragonConReport.com. You can also reach out to us via Facebook and Instagram. All right. Not a lot of news. It's still in the early stages. Yep. So,
the app has not been updated yet. Make sure they know.
We can tell you that DragonCon 2025 is going to happen, scheduled to happen August 28th and September 1st, Labor Day weekend of next year. Currently, 5-day memberships are still $115, and I think we all agree that is a heck of a bargain.
It's a steal.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And as far as Host Hotel Hunger Games, the Marriott went on sale October 2nd, and the Westin is scheduled to go on sale October 29th at 10 a.m. And we will talk a little bit more about that in detail later on in the show when we're talking about
not panicking.
Not panicking.
Yes.
Right.
Staying calm.
Exactly. So get your towels out. So and a Douglas Adams term, right?
Yep.
Nice.
So apart from that, the only other item of it's not really news, but the only other thing I wanted to mention too was if you haven't already, go check out the ESO Network page, esonetwork.com, because Jen has done an amazing job of all these reports. I don't think you had released any prior to our last recording. But you have
I have a bad habit of just throwing them all out there at once.
But you have done a series of articles reviewing a lot of your
yeah, I think I put 4 out.
Yeah.
Is it 4?
Yeah.
I thought it seemed more than that, but yeah, extensive goings on at,
I covered
in official media capacity.
I covered the Ropers or Mrs. Roper returning for year 2. I covered I did a few women in digital media panels for the digital media track. So I covered my experience with that. And then I covered the building your own home tiki bar panel. And then I did my general overview of con.
And didn't you interview somebody somewhat famous?
Oh, that was Courtney.
That was good.
Yeah, so Courtney's my media partner, Courtney. She got to interview Rikishi. She's a huge wrestling fan, so that was very exciting for her. And she interviewed Kelly Fast from NASA.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's some good stuff out there.
So both of us have a few articles put out there.
Yeah, I would definitely look those up on the ESO
because
Network.
People still blog. I'm one of them. And I'm pretty proud of my writing.
As you should be. They are well done. And yes, you had great things to say. I definitely appreciated your article about the Tiki panel. So that was a lot of fun, and I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I hope I can fit on whatever next year's theme is. So
I've got some thoughts. I'm also
because next year's the 10th anniversary, right?
Next year is the 10th anniversary of the Tiki Pop Art panel, and so I'm not really sure what we're going to do there, but also previous panels I've been slowly but surely releasing those to my YouTube channel, and should be done in the next month or so. So I do expect that the one that you were on, now it's just the audio only. It's still on YouTube, but because we didn't actually take video, only the first couple years did we take video, but just audio only. But I think they're still worth checking out, listening to, because those panels are always fun and enjoyable and full of good information too. So, and this year's was no exception. So again, I appreciate that. All right. I think that's it for the news and notes. So we're going to bring along a guest here to help recap someone we didn't get a chance to talk to last month. We've got our good friend Sarah from the DragonCon Theater and Performing Arts Lovers group. Sarah, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Absolutely.
I always love talking to you guys.
And we appreciate you as well. How was your ambitious 2024 DragonCon?
I think I finally caught up on my sleep. So that's good. It was good. It was very ambitious year for not only myself but the group in general. You know, both myself and Gary and we had several people do things without me and Gary this year. That did stuff, and all of us we really went hard. I just counted, and I'm pretty sure we were at 24 different events this year, so it was a lot. But it was good. It was good. Yeah. No.
The few times I saw you in person, you were on the except you did get to stop once because the elevator wasn't ready yet.
Yep, exactly. I was like, yes. I'll eventually make it downstairs. That was actually when I was trying to get downstairs for Subspace Rhapsody picture shows rehearsal, because we only had one rehearsal for that show, and it was 4 hours long, and we overtook the Hilton basement basically and put together the show. So that was a lot.
And that was part of the Star Trek track, right?
Right.
So,
the Trek track.
And yes, and you had some prominent guests show up too, right?
Very unexpectedly too. We had been trying to get their attention, but it hadn't worked. So I was under the assumption that they were not coming. And I hadn't had time to stop in the Walk of Fame, so I'm like, well, it's okay. It's the first year. I don't need any more stress. And as we're getting ready, I'm literally getting ready to tell them I'm going to start the show, the IT, and all of a sudden my cast starts saying, Sarah, we need you here now. We need you here. I'm thinking, what's going on? Is a Klingon having a conniption in backstage? Somebody's prop broke, somebody fainted. What's going on? Of course, I'm going into straight stage manager, director mode. I need to fix something, right? And then as I'm going backstage, my friend Anthony Vito, he says, Sarah, somebody wants to say, there's some people here who want to say hi. They open the door and I'm like, oh, hi. Because total complete shock as Christina Chong, Anson Mount, and Ethan Peck are just standing there, and they're like, yeah, no, we heard about this, and we wanted to come see your show because we've been waiting for somebody to do this. And I'm like, okay. Of course, first thing that pops into my head, I need to find somewhere for them to sit. So I immediately go into there. I'm like, okay, all right. Well, I got to figure out seats because you're staying, right? And they're like, yeah, we're staying. We're here for the show. I'm like, okay, let me go figure it out. And then when we're ready to start the show, I'll call you on stage. Of course, I couldn't let the cat out of the bag as to what was going on because we didn't want to have mutiny. But at that point, we had already started kicking people out of the room because there wasn't enough seats. And I'm like, what am I going to do? We ended up figuring it out. I don't think anybody got kicked out of the room because of it, though they lost some front row seats because of it. But it went really well. They loved it. They were talking about it all weekend, and it was definitely the highlight of my con, having them show up, even though I wasn't sure how they were going to react to the bunny suit.
That's so awesome. And I don't know, was it, I would love, it's one of those things at con that I was afraid, it's one of those things, kick myself because I missed it, and but it's probably one of those things because of copyright stuff and everything like that. It can't be like, was it filmed or can it be shown on
It was
DCTV or
filmed.
something like that? Or
As far as I'm aware, DCTV isn't doing that. We were lucky enough because Garrett Wong and his second Leo both wanted it filmed because neither one of them are going to be able to see it. Garrett being the Trek director, also Ensign
gotcha.
Harry Kim from Star Trek Voyager, but they weren't going to be able to see the show, so they asked me to film it, and I reached out on the Trek Facebook and found somebody to film it for us, but we were not able to we made the decision we're not going to try to post it online fully. The reason being is twofold: copyright.
Yeah, I was
Oh
gonna
yeah,
say
it would
CBS probably won't like
it
that.
would get copyright strikes immediately.
Immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
number two, because our show, as far as we're aware, and you know, the internet is a vast universe, but as far as we're aware, nobody has ever done this show before, like ever done a full shadow cast of Subspace Rhapsody. So we don't want the whole of the nerd community copying our show necessarily, if that makes sense. Like
Sure.
we're hoping to release clips. We did I did a small Instagram reel, but we're hoping to release like some scenes and songs from it, but we're not going to release the whole show. Maybe
No.
in a couple years, if we can find a way to do it
Yeah.
without getting copyright strikes. But yeah, right now it just isn't possible.
Yeah. Make it one of those you had to be there moments.
Well, I think it's
yeah.
similar with what,
Absolutely.
you know, the Buffy show they do, the Once More with Feeling that they put on over at the West End. They can't put that. They don't put that online either.
Once More, some of my cast members that were in this are involved with Once More than Feeling, and the difference between that and this one is it had been done before. They found it online and they
Okay.
copied it. There are definitely clips online from it on YouTube and stuff, but I don't think the show in and of itself exists in its
Yeah.
full capacity.
Is the Subspace show, is that one that you are thinking of repeating, or is that a
Right
one-time only?
now, it's up in the air, you know. Nothing's final until it happens at DragonCon, but I do know Trek wants to bring it back, and so right now, I am planning as if we're bringing it back next year. As far as what we're going to do, as far as casting and stuff like that, because I mean, I'm still getting multiple messages a week about people saying they want to audition. As far as what we're going to do with that, I have no idea. Until we get the final okay, that decision hasn't been made. I love
because I think
cast,
the Once More with Feeling, I think that only happens every other year. Is that correct?
No,
not anymore. They do it every year.
Oh, do they?
They used
Okay.
to.
They had switched for a while.
Yeah, they used to switch back and forth between Dr. Horrible.
Yeah.
Right.
In this,
Right.
but they don't do Dr. Horrible currently, so
Gotcha.
it's every year now, and they do two.
But they
year.
used to do them at the same year, and it was a madhouse.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say at the same time, and I'm like, that's crazy pants.
Right.
No,
That would be a crossover.
People were asking me before I was allowed to say when the show was, because the show was Friday night, and they were like, "So is it going to interfere with Buffy?" And I'm like, I don't think they want to put two shadow casts next to each other, but you know,
it's not your decision.
It's not my decision.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So now that you've successfully done Subspace Rhapsody, are there other shows with musical episodes that have piqued your interest?
There's always more shows that I could do. You know, there has been talk about doing some of the shows, you know, as a kind of more guerrilla thing. There was talk about doing Supernatural at one point. Somebody wanted to do Has Been Hotel, which I think would be amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm glad, Guy, you want to talk a packed room.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Brings it
I
down.
mean, and
Yeah.
the and I have had discussions with a few people. I'm not sure about, not necessarily about husband, but about other stuff. Don't get your hopes up yet.
I don't think there's been any requests, and I don't think there will be any request to do Joker 2.
I think
I
you're safe
haven't
there.
seen it yet. I have one of my friends who has seen it.
It's not the songs that are bad.
Oh,
From what
that's scary.
from what I
She
hear.
liked it, but as I said, I haven't seen it yet. I know I'll see it because I have plans to review it, but I just haven't had time to go see it yet. So,
Sarah, speaking of reviews, what else was a highlight for you at this past DragonCon? I mean, I know you had a lot going on every day. I think you were busier probably than you ever have been, right?
oh yeah, no. Between theater group stuff and just like my own personal stuff, I'm pretty sure I was on 21 things. Did 21 things at con, scheduled
That's
things.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
But and the next year I've gotta I gotta assign more work to other people.
Yeah. Hey, learning how to delegate is a
I did
hard
delegate.
part.
I did delegate. That's the thing. Like I delegated more than I ever did this last year. But that being said, there was more stuff. We doubled what we did last year.
Yeah.
And because of that, there wasn't enough people to go around that I felt comfortable being like, so do you want to be a moderator? So now I have an idea who might want to be a moderator. So
Yeah.
You said you had 24 related
scheduled events. Yeah.
Scheduled events within how many tracks? Different tracks.
Well, I can count 1, 2,
20?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Everybody wants some of that Broadway magic.
I think we were on 12 to 13 tracks somewhere.
That's
around
incredible.
there.
That's incredible. I'm
we
not sure I
did-
know. I don't know. I think that's unprecedented, by the way. I can't think of any other time where a group or an individual or something like that has sort of crossed all those tracks to bring programming to the DragonCon. And I think that's a pretty outstanding achievement.
It is an outstanding achievement. But that being said, I think Gary and I both agree we would love to have our own room. And so we don't have to do that. Because we love our track partners and we will always partner with people who want to partner with us, but it's a lot of running. It's a lot
I'm
of
sure.
running. And me and Gary, we want to do things together because we're friends, okay? And he's my partner in crime. You will almost never see us together at DragonCon because we have to split up to get everything done. And he has classics track on top of it. So, as far as other highlights, we did 3 sing-alongs this year. Actually back to back. Somehow they all ended up on Saturday. The big one for me this year was the Wicked sing-along.
Okay.
That's one I have been trying to get approved for about 2 years now, trying to get a Wicked sing-along because I knew that it was intensely popular, and not only because the movie's coming out this year, but it's also the 20th anniversary of the Broadway musical.
Which makes me feel so old.
Don't get me started. Somebody,
because I remember reading the books as they came out.
Yeah.
Then I remember when the musical debuted.
Yep.
I'm like, no, it's only like 8 years old.
Right. No, somebody pointed out that when it's the same amount of time from when Wicked came out to when Cats debuted. So like the 20 years, and it felt like forever since Cats debuted. So now it's like it's turning around and making us feel old. So we did that one. which was a huge success. We didn't quite fill the room, but I mean, we almost filled the room. So it was a lot of fun. And like with anything at DragonCon, when you're putting things on during the day, you're always going to compete for things. We partnered with the alternate and historical fiction track. They had decided they wanted to do a South Pacific sing along and asked us to host that for them. And we did that. And then we did Rent as well, which is again one I've been wanting to do for years. So we got to do that one as well. So those were all things, and you know, it's we did lots of panels. I got to work with Carol and the Urban Fantasy track. We did a ghost stories panel, essentially, where we got to talk about theater ghosts, and that was a lot of fun. I got to talk about a bunch of theater opportunities, theaters, and performing arts people at on the folk music track for performing arts in Atlanta. We talked to the Shakespeare Tavern, talked to Dad's Garage, and then some one of the professors at Kennesaw State. So we did a lot of stuff, lots of different types of stuff.
I'm curious about the ghost ones. Was that like on stage, or you're talking about backstage ghosts? Are you talking about things like Phantom of the
We're
Opera?
talking about actual theater ghosts.
Gotcha.
So
Very cool.
we actually had both ideas. I came to Carol and I was like, so I want to do theater ghost panel. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, but I don't know whether or not we want to talk about ghost stories, like ghost plays, or we want to talk about actual theater ghosts, because theater ghosts are a big part of the theater, like any performing arts. It's huge.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like cool stories behind that. And her and I went and we discussed it, and we both decided that that one was the one to do next year. This year. I'm not saying what will happen next year. Maybe we'll get to do that one. The other ghosts panel, but that one was actually recorded. I haven't gotten it up yet, but it should be eventually going up on our YouTube channel. So.
Oh, that's very cool. So yeah, that's a great segue. So you mentioned you have a YouTube channel, and have you been posting a lot of the panels there already, or?
I haven't, but I've been taking a little bit of a mental health break from con stuff, social media in general, for about the last 3-4 weeks. And you know, after con, I'm gonna be honest, who wasn't insanely tired. So I just didn't have it in me to sit down and edit video and stuff like that. So, but sorry, I was reading Dave's comment.
I saw it too.
But
I think you booked it, Dave.
Exactly.
Either that or Dave needs to fire his assistant. One of the two.
Yeah. Are we keeping Dave up? I mean, I'm sorry, Dave.
I don't know what time is it in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
8:28 because my computer is constantly set to Eastern time, even though I am in Central time. I wonder why that is.
I'm in Central too. So.
You understand? It's like our life is in Atlanta. But no, I plan on doing it. We didn't record all of our panels, but we recorded a lot of them. Some of them are up on the individual tracks channel pages. Another amazing one we got to do was about immersive theater with the digital media track. And they stream all their panels, and that one is up on YouTube as well as in podcast form.
Awesome.
Right now. So.
And that's a good reminder for people as well, because if you missed a panel, or if you just feel like you want to experience a little bit of DragonCon in your week-to-week life, a lot of the tracks have been releasing panels on their channels, on their social media channels, and of course DCTV, just $10 for a year subscription, and they have all the major panels
Yeah,
that,
main programming.
Yeah, and they've been all the main programming, et cetera, et cetera. So they've been uploading a lot of the material from 2024 as well, and you can check that out. And
when I think the digital media has almost all the panels from Room 7.
I think it's 7.
Yeah,
yeah,
Room 7,
and I think
and they're about to start
6.
They've got some from 6 up already.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah, not all, but some are up. Yeah.
I don't know if our other one with digital media will show up. We did a AI script created by AI for only murders in the buildings. Death Rattle Dazzle, which is a lot of fun, but we might run it because we sang the songs. We might run into some copyright, so I don't know if they're planning on posting that one or not.
Outside of the DragonCon panels releasing on YouTube, do you release any other content?
Oh yeah,
okay. So people should check it out for sure.
Definitely. See, we do. Gary and I are both really committed to showing that there is lots of programming opportunities for theater and the performing arts. So last year we did at least 2 panels a month. We have not started that back up for con yet. I'm hoping to start that back up either in November or December. We started in October last year, but just life has gotten away from me, so we haven't done that yet. But we are definitely planning on doing that at least one in a month, maybe 2. We haven't got to sit down and talk about it yet. But we are planning on doing that. And last year we did a lot of different types of panels. Probably my favorite one was In Defense of Love Never Dies, which is what many people think is a terrible sequel to Phantom of the Opera. We did stuff about tech crew, stage managers. I mean, I can't even think of all the topics we covered last year. We're hoping to do a drag panel. That's one that's really, really close to my heart, and I'm really anxious to do this coming year.
And so if people want to go back and look at the previous stuff, is that on the Facebook page? Is that on a YouTube? Is it both?
Most of it is on our YouTube page. StreamYard changed rules and we can no longer stream to our group, so you won't be able to find them on the group. But if you search DragonCon Theater and Performing Arts Lovers, there's 2 things that pull up, a group and a page, and the page has them all. I'm also in process of uploading all of those to YouTube. Some of them are on YouTube via the live link, but they're kind of hard to find, so I'm going to upload them as regular videos as well.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate all the effort that you put in during the convention, before the convention, after the convention, all year round. It's just an amazing effort by you and Gary and everybody else that you're working with to bring this unique programming to the convention. And I'm glad that 2024 was a success for you. And of course, we wish you better things for 2025, which I'm sure we will discuss in just a few months.
That's what I was going to say. We are already working on 2025. We are already having discussions about programming for 2025. So absolutely. And, I'm always willing to talk to you guys about what we're doing. I know Gary is as well. And I do want to just say one thing. I want to thank all the tracks that worked with us this year, because we would not be able to do this without them. Yeah, we could do the online panels and stuff like that, but without those tracks being willing to take a chance and work with us, we would never get to do this. And the other thing is, I want to thank our community, because I don't do this for me. I know Gary doesn't do this for me, for himself. We do it because other people want to see a theater track. So Gary and I, we're not going anywhere. We're definitely here for the long run, but irregardless of what happens with the theater track, if there's ever a theater track, know that Gary and I do it because we love the theater and we love our community, and so I want to thank them too.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Love it. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, we are going to let you go, and we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to talk about 2025 ourselves a little bit. But thanks again for joining us and for keeping us updated with everything all year round. And like I said, we look forward to talking to you next year as well.
And who knows? There's no decisions have been made, and that's all I'm gonna say.
To be continued.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Have a good night, Sarah.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. We are taking a break. Or are we coming back? We're coming back? Audio wise, video wise, I guess we have to be like video wise, we have to be quiet for like what, a few seconds?
Yeah, just a few seconds.
And we're back.
Smooth as silk.
This never is not awkward. Anyway, we are back, and we're already. It's hard to believe. I mean, 2024 just seems like it was just a couple weeks ago. But yet it also feels like it was a dream. Like it just feels like it was a dream. And 2025 is going to happen. And so we've always said on the DragonCon Report podcast, when we usually started up in January, that it's never too early to start and to get ready for the next year.
But usually by January, it's people have already been worried and freaking out for a few months. So.
Absolutely. What we discovered, especially last year, was that sometimes by January, some things have already been decided, and it kind of feels like some things are too late. Like getting a host hotel room, or getting that sort of thing. So. We wanted to do a couple of episodes to sort of help that process along. And, I think it obviously we're going to focus a lot on the host hotel Hunger Games, because that seems to be the main concern. I mean, we've already let you know that, the memberships are only $115. So if you're thinking about going just for a day, get your memberships now.
Well, if you're thinking about going for more than one day, it's cheaper to buy the pass now. But there's also, keep in mind, there might come a day where individual passes aren't sold.
Absolutely. They sell out so fast that you lose out. So
because
individual passes, you have to pick those up the day of, right?
Right. Yeah. You can't pick them up.
So you might spend most of your day in line waiting to get your pass.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we've talked about it before, but there's so many benefits to getting your membership as early as possible. The most, the obvious one is that it's cheaper. So if you're thinking about going, you're pretty sure you're going to go. Then get your memberships. And because they're only going to go up in price.
Yeah.
Now, the next step is where you're going to stay. And the host hotel Hunger Games are, we've talked about it in the past.
They're pretty much what would you say? 80% done.
I was going to say at this point, and it's not even been, it's only been a month away from con. They're pretty much done.
That's the usual.
However, that doesn't mean that it's impossible for you to get a host hotel room.
No,
correct.
No. So first off, as Mike mentioned at the top of the show, the Marriott did go on sale October 2nd, and it's sold out. There is one host hotel left for the official Hunger Games, and that's the Westin. It goes on sale October 29th at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's your all's time zone, right?
Yes, that is our time.
Yes.
And the con and the various hotel groups on Facebook and Discord and Reddit and what have you will all chat about what links to use. If somebody discovers that using the phone line works better, believe me, that's going to be posted. So it's a good idea to look everywhere you can to get information. And also, speaking of some host hotels that are already booked, Hilton Legacies emails started going out today for legacy renewals. So you should be checking your email and the Hilton app, as one-night deposits are currently being processed. And we know that you do not want to lose a legacy room.
No,
you do not.
But yeah, so West End, when it opens, it's going to be stressful. Let's not deny it. It's not going to be a breeze. Booking these rooms never is. It is always stressful when they open up a big mass of rooms for the general public. But if you see something that says it's sold out in the first 5 minutes, don't believe it, because a lot of the times the hotels, they release rooms in waves.
Mhm.
And if this is anything like what happened with the Marriott this year, they're going to have rooms offered in 2 different places. So this year with the Marriott, something went on with the passkey link, and only king bedrooms were available by booking online, which meant that your room was maxed out if you put 3 guests. But then people discovered by calling, they were able to get access to the queens and the doubles. So, again, that's why you want to have the different Facebook room groups, like Zan's group, DragonCon Rooms, the DC Connection group, the Discords, the Reddit page, the DragonCon Reddit, because people will update there what they're discovering as they're trying to book, and they will post helpful tips. And if there's a link that, if something's not working online with a link that was provided, people will post the correct link in these places.
Yeah.
And just from staying at the West in the past, myself for 8 years, even when it said sold out, I was still able to, sometimes I got in 5 minutes before it officially opened and was able to book a room. Sometimes, even after it was said sold out, they released another wave 6 hours later in the day, because they stagger it. So don't just think in the first 10 minutes, oh, this is it. But also don't forget that there's plenty of overflow hotels. Some of them are sold out already. But
I know the Ritz went on sale as well. I think on the 1st of October.
And the Indigo did. I saw today that the American is sold out.
Wow.
Now that's at least what they're telling people when you call. It does not say sold out on DragonCon's website. I just saw it in one of the groups.
Let's I want to put that in context too, because when they say sold out, that just means they're sold out of the blocks that they were given. That doesn't mean that the whole hotel has been booked.
Exactly.
Correct.
Like
So,
at many of the hotels, there will be rack rate rooms available, and I know plenty of people who still pay it. And just to throw it out there, I've done this in the past. What?
He rose his hand when you said that.
Oh,
it wasn't last year, but when I was young and dumb, it was like, okay, I got to do it. Yeah, that was back when I was single and can get away with that. That would not be the case going forward, I assure you.
But there will, especially once the West End goes up, there will be people who booked a room somewhere else, as a backup. Which, and if they get into the West End, rooms are going to become available, possibly, at some of the previously sold out hotels. It really all depends on when you book a hotel, what is the cancellation policy? What is the deposit policy? 'Cause I know some people booked at the Cortland because we're not having our first deposit taken out till March 5th, I believe. So it was, people were able to book it as a backup. So I expect rooms at the Sheraton are going to open up at some point after at the end of October, and the same will go for the overflow hotels.
And I think, as I understand it too, there is a possibility that depending on how many Hilton Legacy rooms are booked and renewed, that there will be some some other rooms included in a block for the Hilton. So it's not impossible to get a room at the Hilton at this point either.
Yeah,
so,
they probably won't be legacies.
No.
Oh yeah, no. But
yeah, I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah. The key. I mean, with all things DragonCon, the key is patience. I know for a fact some people have booked rooms and they're not even 100% sure if they're going to be at DragonCon. So that's happened too. You've had people, they'll book their rooms and then either financially or something else comes up, they realize they can't go, so they'll end up canceling a few months out.
Well, and there's also the last year I was at the Westin when I got fed up and was like, I'm not staying here anymore. 8 years is enough. And I didn't want to play the Hunger Games with any other hotel. So once a month, I just used a Google map of downtown and pulled up the hotels by distance to the Marriott, since it's the hub, and would check prices. And that one year, I ended up with the hotel who messed up over by the aquarium. I think it was a Hyatt place. And the rooms were $119 a night.
Wow.
And so I booked there, sent it to my friends who were coming so they could book there. And then they caught the mistake 3 days later, but we were already booked and confirmed, and they honored it.
Nice.
So now, granted, it was a pain in the butt dealing with Uber and walking that far for us.
But you had a room.
But and it was a comfortable hotel. It was literally right across the street from the aquarium, and we were doing the aquarium party that year, so that was nice. It had continental breakfast, getting a free breakfast at con, great. It was near one of the tiniest Waffle Houses I've ever seen.
But then Waffle Shack.
Yeah. but it was like the one nice thing was that it gave us access to restaurants we're not usually near.
Yeah.
Because, if we're leaving the con circle, we're typically going to little 5 Points, or we're going to the one Vortex location that's like a mile and a half down the road. So, or we're just going to Decatur to go to SOS. So,
I mean, a lot of people talk about getting hotels that are further away and taking MARTA in, and
you save a good amount of money.
You can.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it depends on what you want your experience to be, but that for a lot of people that is an option.
And I have friends who've been going to con for over a decade, and they refuse to stay in a host hotel.
Yeah.
And they're still out late at night, and they still go to parties.
I mean, DragonCon TV makes it a little bit easier because I know people, they like to be in the host hotels for that, because you could see things that you probably wouldn't have normally seen, but you can do the streaming service and get some of the live feeds.
That's the year the year we stayed at an overflow. Yeah, that's what we did. We bought the DC TV pass.
And if you're somebody who likes, sleep, there's nothing wrong with staying in an off-site hotel. I've done it a couple of times, but yeah, I mean, it's just, it's what you make of it. I mean, now again, I do a photo shoot, and I will admit, staying at the Hilton is so great for that, as opposed to having to pull 2 wagons of stuff down Peachtree Street. But just for most people who are going, there's some good hotels within reasonable walking distance.
Yeah.
And if you got the extra cash, Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What you save in what you save in hotel room cost by not staying in a host hotel, you sort of pay for by your transportation, right? So
well, it depends. Like MARTA does shut down fairly early. But, during the day, if you're using MARTA, there's a price you can pay for it, covers multiple days. If you're going to end up Ubering or Lyft, what we've done in the past is, for birthdays or Christmas, we get 1 or 2 people to gift us a gift certificate, like, for Uber or Lyft, so that we can use when con comes around. I would avoid I would avoid going out farther than 10 miles just because that gets pricier. And also, when you start, if you're one of the people who's going to start looking around the area, you like using the map like I did, don't fall prey for the private rentals.
Oh, right.
The Airbnbs, the VRBOs, because they get listed along with hotels on maps and on sites like Expedia and whatnot. And there's maybe
not as reliable.
I'd say there's maybe
Right.
2 people out of 100 don't get theirs canceled every year. I know there's some people that are like, I use the same rental every year. I've never had a problem. And that's great. You're found the one person who doesn't screw you over.
Yeah.
But there's so many stories every year. And you have no recourse. And by the time that rental cancels on you, it's even harder to find a place to stay.
Sure.
Check if you're gonna go that route, don't rent from somebody who's not a super host. Check their ratings, check their reviews. And also make sure you're covered by whatever the rental policy is.
And check the policies at wherever you're renting. There's that apartment complex that's attached to the Hilton, that apartment building behind it.
That's not the Peachtree Towers, is it?
I can't think of what it's called, but if you go through the Hilton toward the back, it's connected to it. Every year when I go up that elevator, there's usually a sign posted reminding people Airbnbs are not allowed. So I guess people who were actually living there were trying to rent the rooms out on Airbnb.
Altitude?
During the con or doing that's it.
Yeah, Rock says it's altitude.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So apparently, so I would have felt just as bad then if I had, Airbnb'd out a room and then I get there and the complex owner's like, no, get out. So definitely make sure that the place you're doing your Airbnb at allows Airbnb, and they're not going to tell you to, sneak in at night when nobody can see you.
But really, I just don't recommend it. I don't think it's worth the risk.
No.
Yeah.
It's the same if you can save money by going through booking sites like Priceline and Expedia, but sometimes, especially for a big crowded weekend, a lot can happen with third-party booking sites. And it'd be a similar situation to the Airbnb where, you might get a refund, but they're not going to help you find another spot.
So the whole thing is that we're trying to do, because we're not trying to scare everybody.
No, we're just trying to prepare you for all the things.
There's a lot of stuff, but because we want to try to make it. I mean, I think our job has always been to make, for those people who are thinking about going to DragonCon, whether you're new and you want to do it for the first time or whether you've done it 30 times like myself, you want to make it as stress-free as possible. So to that regard, even if you go through the stress of getting a host hotel room within this month, let me tell you, there are things that are going to happen through the course of the year that will make you stressed out about that hotel room. Like, nothing is a given, but nothing is locked in stone. But yet, it is not. I have the times that I've stayed there. I have been fortunate enough I'd say about half the time to win out on the Hunger Games and get actually a hotel room that I wanted from a hotel that I wanted, whether it was at the Marriott or at the Westin or what have you. But there's been equal amount of times where I came up short. Like I couldn't get a room. But you know what? I still got a room. I still was able to get a room. There's a lot of different ways that you can get rooms. So don't get caught up in the stress of it has to be, if we don't get a room in October, then we're done.
No, because I guarantee you, especially we'll have the links to the different rooms group, to Zan's group, to Russ's group. I've got them in the comment thread right now. I'll have them in the show description after. There are people in the Facebook groups, that will be, for whatever reason, we'll have rooms available. And I've seen rooms available up until 3 days before con some years.
Yeah.
And
because people are always having to cancel.
Yeah,
People
and
when you're talking about 80,000 people. Well, I'm sorry, not yet. But we're talking
But
about.
It feels like it sometimes.
We're talking about 60,000 people.
Yeah.
Some people are going to be able to be like, you know what, we can't make it.
Yeah, well, but also, the rooms groups don't allow scalping either. So, I'd still vet the person, that you're thinking about handing over money to, but make sure they've been a group member for a while. Have a chat with them. Make sure the method of payment you're using is protects you. But yeah, there will be people trying to get someone to take over their rooms, and you can, the same way that you can check the overflow hotels like every month or every couple of weeks, or the downtown map to see availability of hotels a month or every few weeks. You can also check the official hosts.
Yes.
Once a month or so, just to see if something magically opens up. Yes, I know it can be a pain in the butt, but it all helps. Having all the resources and taking advantage of the resources helps you be better prepared, not only to know what you can expect to pay, but to see what's available. And, if you book at an overflow or a hotel a bit farther away, also check the booking policy. Maybe they doesn't require a deposit anytime soon. Maybe they're going to give you a buffer of a few months, so you can do what a lot of people do and book an overflow or a farther out hotel that if you're stuck there, it's not too bad. But if something else opens up,
you can move.
You can cancel it without a penalty and get somewhere closer.
Absolutely.
But we all stay on host hotels, so we get it. We understand the desire to stay in a host hotel.
Yes.
But your con is not ruined if you can't get in one of the 5 host hotels.
I have stayed in other hotels a number of times.
Because it's supply and
just as much fun.
Yeah, it's supply and demand. There's only so many rooms at the 5 central hotels.
Right.
Not even the majority of people attending con are staying at one of those 5 hotels.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I think I've stayed at 4 different non-host hotels over time, and there's only one of them that I would never go back to. I won't say the name out loud. But,
wait, is it the Barclay? Because I was about to say, just don't go for the Barclay.
No, it was not the Barclay.
Okay. I know the Barclay is one of the cheapest ones, but man, I see some horror stories about.
Ooh, but
if you're okay, if you're a person who like camps a lot outside and doesn't mind bugs and just dirt, then, that's the hotel. Hey, save some money. Stay at the Barclay.
Do you like sleeping outdoors? Well, this is the hotel for you.
You like a room with a view.
Right.
That's how it's advertised.
It's just like you'll feel like you're in nature.
Right.
So those are our thoughts on the host hotel Hunger Games at this point.
Real quick, Zan is posting a really good point. There will always be people looking for roommates in the rooms groups as well to help split the cost. So
absolutely,
if and I know a lot of people who've gotten roommates, people they've never met before. They've become long-lasting friends and now room together every year. So
it is what you make of it.
Yeah,
absolutely. So that's a big part of prep, at least at this stage of the game. The only other thing that I was thinking of that, because it does seem still kind of early, but the one thing I was thinking of that we've talked about before, and I don't know if this is still the case, so maybe Jen and Channing, maybe you can have some put some light on this as well. But I've always heard that because October, of course, is spooky season, Halloween season, that you can get pretty good deals on costumes before and after, just after October. If you're looking for materials or specific costumes that you may want to use for DragonCon. I've heard that it's like not a bad time to look for that stuff or get deals on that sort of thing.
Okay, maybe somebody in the comments can answer this. There's a theater in the Atlanta area. I just saw them post this week.
Yes.
They're doing their annual costume sale.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Costumes they have in the back room. They've used them in performances and stuff like that. I do not know where it was.
I saw the same post. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I have friends who've gone to it every year and they love it, and there's great deals. And man, I have no idea. I'm in like 100 DragonCon groups. I don't know which one to look at. No, it's not Dad's. Let's.
But I was just thinking. I mean, obviously, there's Spirit, but there's also like a ton of other. Also by looking at people's costumes for Halloween, both on the celebrity level as well as on just friends and family on Facebook and whatnot, you can get really good ideas for costumes. It's a great time to sort of like still extend that cosplay costume experience that you have at DragonCon. That makes DragonCon one of the best cons, I think, on the planet. But because October is full of that as well, so I do think that's something that people can look at as well. And if you're interested in getting a costume made, it's never.
I'd say before
to try to reach out to somebody to try to help you with that.
Yeah, do that before Christmas, because
definitely. Get on their schedule.
Some commissions can take months.
Yeah. So if you're looking, if you know somebody and you've talked to them already, or you're interested in reaching out to somebody that that makes costumes, or just props even, I would get on that soon too.
Yeah, and as somebody who doesn't make a lot of, I don't make any of my own cosplays yet, but I've talked to other cosplayers, even. Like Spirit Halloween, as quickly as they set up, they move out, but you can catch some good deals there. And I know people, they will buy Spirit Halloween costumes to use like a base and then just kind of build up on it from there.
Well, also, as somebody who hits up that sale every year, Spirit will typically be open for 3 days after Halloween, and each day will be a bigger discount.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now, if you want to get the great stuff, you go the next day, it's half off. And then on the final day, which is November 3rd, 2nd, whatever, then you're looking at 75% to 90% off. But be warned, they will be boxing stuff up to ship back to headquarters while you're there picking the sales. But I have found that as long as the box is not taped shut, they're okay if you take something out of one of the boxes. But yeah, I mean, I made a.
Hey, they know how they want to make money.
I made a killing on tombstones last year.
Yeah,
and raiding all the haunted mansion stuff.
Gotcha. Do you so as far as Halloween goes, you do the whole yard thing?
Did you not see the video I posted?
I don't think I have seen
it. So we're in the estate sale business, and this past weekend's sale was about an hour and a half away from us. So my husband, I don't know if he specifically went looking for garage sales, but he found one near where they were doing the estate sale, and he sent a video of 2 animatronics from like, these are $50 each. Do you want them? And I was like, I'm thinking like he wants me to choose, or so I'm like, well, I like this one better, blah, blah, blah. Then he sends me a picture of like 6 tombstones. He's like, this price, what do you think? And I was like, I knew some of the tombstones, and they're normally like $50 each or more till you get the day after sale and hope they're still in stock. But that's all he said. Then he, an hour later, says, "Find me a place where I can rent a U-Haul." So I was like, "Uh-oh." And then
that's a message you don't want to get.
He came home a few hours later, and we open up the back of the U-Haul, and there's like 6-7 foot tall skeletons, 2 animatronics, 15 or so headstones, 5 smoke fog machines, and it was all dirt cheap. So yeah, I'm setting up scenes in my yard.
Nice.
Here we go.
All right.
Ebony Juggernaut found it for me. It's the Alliance Costume Shop. Just in time for Halloween, the Alliance Costume Shop is hosting a sale of costumes on October 16th and 17th.
That's real soon.
10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the lobby of the Coca-Cola stage. Items will include modern clothing, vintage clothing, historical costumes, novelty, shoes, hats, and more.
So awesome.
And I dropped a link in the private chat too.
Okay, yeah, and they're
they've got some of the pictures.
Also, they're on Instagram under Alliance Theater.
Awesome. Anything else that we can think of that people should keep in mind this early for 2025?
I'm sure we'll have something next month because we will be back in November, folks.
We will. Yes, we will be back next month.
In fact, we can already tell you the date. I think it's the 19th, Tuesday. Let me look at my calendar.
Wait, I thought it was the 16th.
It's the 19th. It's Tuesday, November 19th, and that will be our final episode for season 13, final episode of 2024. That'll be episode 12. And if there's any questions you have about con prep, go ahead and send it to us. In the meantime, we can get some dirt on that for you.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I just want to give a shout out and say I hope you all have a happy Halloween.
Absolutely. And
yeah, my birthday is next week, 7 days before Halloween. So it's always my favorite day of the year.
Yeah, mine is just a little over a week after Halloween. So this is a great time of year.
One more tip.
Yes, it is.
We got from Zan is check the address of your hotel before you book. If the price seems to be too good to be true, it may not be the hotel you meant to get. Perfect example. There's more than one Indigo.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's more than one
Hyatt place.
Yeah.
There's more than one Hyatt. Yeah. There's more than one. Yeah. Marriott. There's more than. Yeah. So yeah, definitely check. Because I did make that mistake one year. Booked at the wrong brand of hotel. So.
Yeah, I would especially pay attention if it says like Midtown or Buckhead.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a sign.
Or airport.
Yeah, just because the address says Atlanta doesn't mean it's downtown Atlanta.
No.
It doesn't mean it won't take you 2 hours to get somewhere.
Right. Awesome.
Well, enjoy Stone Mountain.
We hope we hope that you enjoyed this episode and it gave you a little bit less stress for getting ready for the 2025 DragonCon.
Channing has cracked himself up.
We're going to draw a close to this episode. Big thanks to Sarah for joining us from the theater group. We really appreciate her. Also, one thing that I wanted to point out, because she forgot to plug it before she left, which she does a podcast called Fandom and Footlights. So all about, guess what? Broadway and performing arts. So
really?
I know, shocker, right?
I didn't know she was into
that. Check that out as well. And of course, a big shout out to our station crew. Channing, thank you so much.
Always a pleasure to be here. Look for me online. I'm at Channing Sherman on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And also find my group, Black Geeks of DragonCon. We're slowing down a little bit for our annual break, but we still post some content, and we're behind the scenes doing some planning for 2025.
Nice. See, it's already Sarah mentioned she's already starting. We're already starting thinking about next year, which is pretty amazing. Yes. Despite the fact that we still haven't, I don't think, fully recovered.
No.
2024 yet.
My bank account definitely has not.
And Jen, thank you for working your magic on both sides of the webcam.
Oh, I mean, I forgot so many banners. I miss playing our intro music. I didn't do the 30-second countdown.
It's the first time we've done an encore and gone this late.
I literally have no. It's because StreamYard was like, "Oh, you can create your intro, outro video, and connect all these things together and have it ready to go." Did it work? No. Last time I'm going to use a shortcut.
StreamYard won't let Jen be great.
Going back to old school.
And where can people find you and check out what you're doing for Halloween?
You can find me on Instagram at LilBitOdd, LILBITODD. My profile is still open to the public right now. I typically will keep it. I usually don't go to private till mid-November, and then I open back up before con. You can also find me in the DragonCon parties, meetups, and more group on Facebook. I'm the one you get when you email the DragonCon report 99% of the time. And yeah, and at some point we might have a Twitch, we might have a TikTok. We're working on it. I'm trying to learn how to use TikTok. It's going badly, but we'll see.
And I'm trying to learn some new dances for TikTok. It's also going badly.
Okay, well, all right. We'll see if we can get those two things together. Maybe get like the mongoose on TikTok.
There you go.
There we
go. I got to see if he can join us for our last episode.
My name is Mike Gordon. As always, it's been my pleasure. I just want to remind everybody that Dragon Tales is still available on Amazon. Hardcover, softcover, digital copy, or digital edition is coming. Like if you have a Kindle or something like that, it's coming pretty soon as well. I just got some more copies in the mail for me to have autographed and send out. So if you want a personalized copy, reach out to me. We can make sure that happens. So I don't know if I have any shows. There may be a show that I'm doing at the end of October, but it's not confirmed yet. So keep looking at my, looking at my Instagram or my Facebook page, social media for that. I'm also, this time of year, I love this time of year. I love watching spooky movies. So I'm reviewing almost a movie a day as far as a spooky movie. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, please check that out, as well as the other podcasts that I'm part of on the ESO network, which is Earth Station Who, and now Bat Chums, which is also on the ESO network. So we try to cover all we can with these episodes, but to keep up with the latest news, please check out the official website for DragonCon, all their social media outlets. All the fan tracks are active on social media as well, so reach out to them. Tell them, if you haven't already, tell them what you loved about 2024. And if you want to be involved in 2025, reach out to them, because it's not too early for that as well. Just like we were talking about planning already for next year, the tracks are already doing that as well. It's never too early to start suggesting some content for next year. We are a proud member of the ESO Network. On the ESO Network page, there's a direct link to our TeePublic store filled with all kinds of cool swag. We also have a cool Patreon page where you can check out our past readings, guest announcements, if you so desire to just feel like an excuse for drinking.
And there is other offerings from many of our network members on the Patreon.
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, Bat Chums, we're about to release some exclusive content.
And there's content from Earth Station Who, Tales from Hollywoodland, the Flopcast, ESO Board Silly. There's a lot of stuff available there.
Absolutely. So thank you, patrons, for your support. We do really appreciate it. And whether you're watching or listening to us, please support our show with a like, subscribe, and a share. That doesn't cost you anything, and it really does help us out a lot. If you can send us direct feedback, as Jen said, feedback@dragonconreport.com, or you can reach out to us via Facebook and Instagram, because we're there too. Thanks to everyone for joining us. As always, it's been my pleasure. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in 2025 at the con. But before that, we'll see you next month.
Happy Halloween! soon.
Ooh.
You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek. You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.